Okay. Oh. Thing make it correctly. Okay. Change that. A little too light. I'm sorry, there's going to be some echo. There. Okay, I think all the sound is down now. That was weird. Oh. Oh. Nope. There we go. Okay. So, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. That's unfortunate. I wish I... Okay. Not entirely sure what that means, but okie dokie. So let's see. I'm going to be doing another character. Another one of my original characters. And did it back in the day. I don't, you can probably can't even really see that. So let's real quick, we'll transition here. So this is the character. He's gonna get an update. I'm not sure exactly what I'm changing, but I'm definitely changing some stuff. Because this was done 12 years ago, I think now. Pretty insane. So he's getting an update. And welcome, Julia. Let's see. So, first off, I never really went into is he wearing pants, shorts, anything like that. So, and all my characters kind of had the same body type shape, so I might try and adjust that as well. And he was using a giant sword. I could change that or change up the way it looks. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do as far as that goes. So we'll try and figure it out. I don't know. At this point, I will say I am open to suggestions on how to change this character up. If anyone has them. So let's move this up. That. I think the hair is alright. I mean, it's really similar to a lot of the other hair, but also we could change it up too. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm going to be adjusting this as I go on stream. So coming up with different ideas. I think if he's going to be using a giant sword though, we're going to make him a little bit larger. Or I'm not entirely sure. We'll work it out. But I do need to have a little bit more variety in the shape of my characters, which I definitely do not have. Just because, like, I don't know, you kind of draw what you know, I guess, and I'm not a gigantic dude. And when I drew these, I definitely was not like a large person, for lack of a better term. So like I could make him like really big and like beefy. I don't know if I like that, but we'll play around with some stuff and we'll go from there. And if anyone has suggestions, I am open to whatever. These legs are way off, all that fun stuff, but so I mean I could make him kind of buff and beefy. I don't know. That's really kind of what I'm looking for. Again. So let's play around with this a little bit. I think most of what I'm going to be doing today is probably just trying to figure out a body shape for this guy. Or how it's going to work. Just because his backstory is kind of like a orphan street kid. So I wouldn't imagine he would be gigantic. I mean, I could always like change up the backstory as well. But I prefer I didn't at this point. That kind of like shaped the personality. So, I mean, this is a little bit more of the way my characters tend to turn out. So not a huge difference, but I feel like shrinking the neck a bit and bringing the muscle, whatever this muscle is, I always forget, out farther, making like the arms look quite a bit bigger. Like just this already looks a lot smaller, even though it's not too much of a difference in the actual proportions, which is weird. Okay, so we got that. So yeah, we got this kind of going on. Really simple. So like I said, they aren't that different as far as like the torso goes, but this elongation out here and the arms coming off the body more kind of makes it look quite a bit different. That's kind of an interesting thing. And we can kind of, what I should do is have this farther out. Like that. Got it. I just erased this junk. Extra stuff going on here. So I think that kind of pushes the bodybuilder kind of look. No. Okay. It's got it. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I really don't, especially with like that hair, that just doesn't look right. So probably go a little bit, like this is a little bit thicker looking, I think, than my characters tend to be. So it might work in a similar way, where I'm gonna have his arms and stuff are gonna be kind of large. But I need to figure out like how he's going to be able to like use this giant sword that I gave him in the original design, or change it up a little bit. I'm not entirely sure. So, and he's got, so this tattoo definitely gonna change up here. Very similar to my like main character's tattoo. I'll probably have to change that up. So I'll probably adjust that tab. I'm definitely going to keep the 13 Roman numerals situation, but I've got to change that out. So right now he has this situation going on, like to hold the sword, which is unrealistic on top of unrealistic. Just because size of the sword, putting it over your back, and not having like a stabilizing part to hold that in place to where it should be. So it's on unrealistic on top of unrealistic on top of unrealistic, actually. Which kills me at this point. So we would probably have to put in like a separate piece right here to kind of stabilize it, if that's what we stick with, which I'm not sure. So the sword as it is now, I believe, has this look to it. Which, very Final Fantasy Buster Sword. I don't love that. I don't like it anymore. I don't mind like an oversized sword, but I have to change that up. It doesn't make sense. So I also haven't worked out like a power for this kid, because these characters are all young. I'm gonna call them all kids because they're young people. So I would say maybe going with like a great sword type look. So it's still a very large sword, but it's not nearly as insane. And then having the more muscular but less exaggerated than this one, I think is what I'm gonna go with. Because again, Street Kid isn't exactly who I would picture being giant like having to have fought for everything his entire life just to get food doesn't really make sense to that he would be gigantic in my mind. Plus he's like the leader of a kid street gang, so he's like one of those guys who's, I'm gonna feed my people before I feed myself kind of situation. So he's not gonna be gigantic. We're gonna say that right now. He's not gonna be gigantic. We're just gonna move him over this way. Gonna have to shrink this up a bit. So I can get his feet in there for one. Okay, so we'll start with that. Okay. So we're working our way through this design, redesign. Let's shrink this too, since we're on that kind of situation. So this sword, I want to be essentially his feet are down there. Okay, so that's probably about the length I would say the sword would be. Shrink it a smidge more. But just size-wise at this point, that's where I want that. So move it off to the side here and try and design the sword a little bit. All right. Definitely gonna need a slightly handle because it will have to be a two-handed. Technically speaking, I'm gonna say he'll be able to wield it with one. Because he's gonna be like a beast, but all right. So we've got general length. Now, what might be kind of cool is maybe the sword can transform a bit. Or something has to happen. Like he has to have some kind of power because everyone else has power, essentially. So I really need to work out what that's going to be, and I think it has to do with the sword in this case. Kind of like the sword is sentient in a way, and they've made a pact, like very very warlock D&D, but still I think that's where we're going with that. And it can become like pretty much any type of weapon he chooses, maybe. I don't know. We'll work through that bit. For right now, we'll have to design what the sword typically looks like. It's kind of what I'm worried about. I'm not a weapon designer, that's for sure, but we're gonna attempt it, I guess, at this point. So real quick, let's go look. So real quick, let's look at some. So like the classic greatsword is kind of nice, but I definitely want something a little bit more fantasy. But I definitely like that. So I might roll with something a little thicker, but it's definitely going to have that like spot to grab. Oh, that is a really. Oh. Okay. Okay. I dig that. So let's play with some of these ideas real quick. So, really don't know why that happens. It does. Okay. Let's say that. So, one of the versions of this I'm seeing is this, which is kind of interesting. Where the blade is thicker, comes out around, but has a handle in the blade again. Because a lot of great swords, they have that dulled beginning to the blade there, so it can be held, which is an interesting thing. So that's an idea. You can play around with this little section here too. Great swords are such interesting weapons. Even like the actual great swords are very realistic great swords are cool still, you know. I mean, they don't all have that, but some of them do, and it's kind of an interesting idea. Like that dull section of the blade. What I meant to do. There we go. I'm really not entirely sure like how much exaggeration and fantasy I want to put on it. Like I want to put some. I don't want to get crazy with it. Like I said, I want it to look, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I want it to be fantastical, but I also want it to be like realistic to an extent. Okay. Like I want it ornate, but also not super ornate as well. Like that's another thing. I don't want it to be super plain, but I don't want it to be overly crazy because, like I said, this kid, it's not like he was rich and grew up at, like a lot of them have this like club shape. Which is interesting as well. So I don't want it exaggerated too much on this like aid guard bit. So I'd probably have it like that and come down. Pommel. Don't know what I would have for the pommel. Again, just kind of finding my way through this design situation. Not a weapon designer. The practicality of some things are not going to be in my head already, so I'll have to work through it. So some have like a wrap, like a leather wrap on that bottom part, even though it's just dull metal, they'll have a leather situation going on anyway. I would imagine that if I do something like this, I would have a leather wrap on it. Pommel on the bottom of that. Alright, so some of these are not like the bottom isn't necessarily wrapped. Sometimes it's wood, sometimes it's leather. It just kind of depends. Something like that. And like I said, if you have suggestions, I am all ears at this point. Because like I said, I'm just working my way through this, trying to figure out like how ornate, how realistic, all of that. That's what I'm working through at this point. I am not against hearing your guys' opinions or ideas. That's part of the fun of this, chatting with people as I work. So, okay, so maybe I could have that as well. So, say this right here is the guard down on one side, because it will be on the back, so I'm not going to have it on both sides like the image I'm seeing here, but we could have a hand guard coming out off the back as well, like so. Something like that is another thing to think about as I'm working through this. There's a lot to think about, like I said, and like how ornate the blade shape is, how ornate the blade is. Again, I don't want anything crazy because he's an orphan kid. Although if I do make it like a magical sentient kind of situation, it could literally take any form it wants. So it could be a lot fancier than you would expect. It could be like super plain. As it goes along and he uses it, it could get more and more powerful and become more ornate if it so chooses. There's so many different like weapon shapes and stuff. Just making sure no one's like chatting with me. I see the chat, but I'm not always working, all that fun stuff. Okay, so yes, we've got some general shape. Oh, that's kind of an act as well. Okay, so not a half bad. I like that. Right there. Something like that is a possibility. So I think I've kind of come to the end of this bit here. Just kind of tapers down. Extend that situation like that. So I've got a few ideas down here that kind of that I like. Yes. Okay. So I've got some ideas down here that aren't terrible. Gotta grab the, there we go. Okay. So looks like most of my time today is probably going to be trying to figure out a sword shape. Since I've kind of figured out his body shape to where it's different than some of the other ones, a little bit more muscular, not insanely more muscular. I don't know. One of these days I'll have to draw like some of the creatures they'll be fighting as well. That'll be fun. maybe that'll be the next one. Take a break from the actual characters and get to some of the monsters, evil things that are in the world. Okay. So we've got a couple different blade shapes as well. And depending on how I go with the, like I said, the actual blade would be blade situation. Call that, and then handle. Okay, so let's get something like that. That just kind of comes to a point. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Like I said, there's a lot of different blade shapes I could work with here. And this sword that I was looking at where it had the handle inside the blade was just kind of flat at the end, which is interesting as well. So it was more of an executioner style sword as opposed to an actual like fighting blade. So that might be an idea too. Let me look at executioners. Just executioner swords. So yeah, that's one thing that is very interesting about swords from back in the day. Executioner swords tended to be flat at the tip because they were not meant for combat. So they would have a flat tip. Not always, but generally speaking, they had a long blade and a flat tip. So, there are so many different kinds of weapons out there. It's very interesting, the ingenuity of making things that can hurt people. Like when it comes to that, humanity is gifted. It seems. So yeah, I mean, I could do that kind of situation. There's not a whole lot of images, not nearly as many images of that as there were like greatsword. But I mean, it's basically I could do any of these designs and just have a flat tip to it. I wanted. I don't know. Okay. I mean, like, there's nice bits to all of these. Interesting. Let's see if I did. Put like that ring on that side there. Not sure what kind of shape I would give to the ends of that. I'm not sure if I would even particularly care for like coming forward like that. I could have it reversed, I could have it come back. I don't know. Come straight out as well. Option. I'm sure there's a good reason most greatswords have it coming forward, I would assume to catch and be able to break a blade. It wasn't well made. Okay. This is kind of interesting. That might be kind of cool to throw a flat tip on. I don't know. Like I said, this is not something I'm necessarily good at. I'm working my way through it here. I don't know. Like, there's still kind of a taper to this blade if I throw a flat tip to it, and I kind of like it. I don't know. The other thing I could do, if we do that, but like that, I'd still do like that inner handle situation there. Yeah, actually, I would have that just meet, I think. So it would go from right off from the blade. Would be no separation between the blade and the guard situation. We'll have it rounded out the top right there, but we'll just have it go right into the handle there, I think. I don't hate that design. I mean, they're all cool, so it's hard to like sit here and pick something. Kind of like I like the slightly ornate option of having the scalloping kind of thing, I guess is what I would call it. I don't know exactly, but the indents to the blade, especially with the flat tip, I like that idea. Again, I don't know if anyone is really necessarily watching here, but if you have any at all, quick, I just want to see if I'm still okay. Yeah, I am still live. Cool. Sometimes you don't know. Honestly, sometimes YouTube just takes me off. All right. Yeah, I don't know. Again, if anyone has any suggestions, I'm all ears at this point. See, like, I kind of like this. This is looking kind of nice. And I like this. And it kind of almost makes a full guard without being covered. And these all look kind of like different thicknesses, but they'll roughly be this kind of like slightly thicker than put up to there, but I don't want it too thick. Like I said, I don't want it unrealistically like thick and crazy fantasy looking. But yeah, so we're kind of trying to figure it out. I don't know. Like I said, this isn't my normal situation. And I don't know if I would have a loop if I did that. It might look a little, yeah, I don't know. So then real quick, just grab this. Something kind of like that. I don't hate that. Like I said, I kind of like that look. I think we might be kind of pushing forward with this look. Yeah. Switch for the heck of it. Let's just grab all of this. I'm not going to delete it. Put it on a new layer so I can hide it. Okay. All right. All right, so let's grab this. Let's slide you over here. Okay, so shrink you down. It's gonna be somewhat thick. A smidge more. So about there, probably. Let's see. We got. I kind of like here. I don't know if it really. Okay, it needs a pommel like. Let's see. I wonder. Let's get in here a little bit. So. This might be kind of interesting if we do into that. Some of this awkward extra junk as we work through this situation here. So okay. So we've got right now. I think that's a pretty solid start. I like it, honestly. I think it's a cool sword. It's something I came up with today. Reimagining of his weapon, which is neat. I guess we could give it an edge to the quote-unquote tip that it doesn't have. We'll just have it edged all the way still. I'm not sure about like the inside of the blade. Like I said, I don't know if I want any kind of ornamentation necessarily right now. At least just be darker. Okay, so we're like, that's not half bad. I think it's kind of nice. We will need to kind of figure out what I want. I mean, this is like, that's a really classic club shape. but I don't think that's what I'm looking for. So let's do that. We'll just kind of round the tip off and bring it out a little bit more than I have it right now. I think that's kind of what I'm gonna roll with. I think for that, as far as this part here, I'm going to put something there. I don't know exactly what. That kind of reminds me of like Geralt's like smiley sword from the Witcher TV series. I mean, not exactly TV series, but live action series. So we'll roll with that. Gonna wrap. I feel like leather would feel nice on the hand. Something like that. This out a little bit here. Okay, so something like that maybe. I have no idea. Something maybe, yeah, that kind of gives it an ornate look without being too crazy ornate. Dig that actually. I think that works nicely. And we'll just have, this will be just kind of a solid normal situation. This, I guess we could wrap that. Same kind of situation as the actual handle. All right, so I guess that's his sword now. Quite a bit different than this weird little situation we had. Let's see there. Very Final Fantasy / Rurouni Kenshin / Naruto inspired blade before. Essentially, giant blade wielded by a much too small a person. But now we've got this one, which I think is nice because it's something I made right now for him. And it looks good. I like it actually. And even though a little wonky, a little curved right now, even though it's not perfect, it's kind of weird. It's something I made. I came up with that on the spot today by myself, which is kind of crazy. I think it's neat. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out exactly like what the situation power-wise, all that fun stuff. Again, gonna have to figure out like tattoos and clothes, stuff like that as well. So. Let's see. So the sword will be on his back, kind of situation, which will be interesting. I mean, I did make him a beefier dude for the sword, which is nice. So, yeah. I don't really know what that looks like. It looks like something. I don't know. Okay, so we got the sword figured out, which is awesome. Really happy with that. I will have to use like some rulers to help me keep it straight when I get there. So now I need to come up with some clothes situation stuff. So, and I don't know, hair might need to change a little bit at least. That's earlier. So, like I said, I made him a little bit beefier than I typically do for my characters, so that's one thing that's different. I might give him some scars. So far he's like the only one who doesn't really have some kind of scar. Everyone else does. That's not even on the right layer. I'm just gonna now he's on his own layer. So what I'm gonna do is try and set this sketch up a little bit better. So we'll have 50 here. Okay, so I definitely don't love this part down here. Look great, but look at it's interesting the stuff that can pop up when you just put in like beefy character body. Okay, so let's found something here. Oops. I really hate when it does that. I don't really understand why it does that still. So let's do this here. Give this character a little bit more curve to him. Okay, there, something like that. There we go. Okay, so again, kind of shortening the neck a smidge. And we're exaggerating the joint here of the bicep. And I'm gonna kind of put them off a little bit from the body. That's again, this is a reference sheet, gonna help me when I come back to these characters to draw them more consistently. So it's not really about it looking nice. It's actually kind of not about them looking exciting. I don't know, it's a weird, hard to explain. It's what I'm trying to say. Okay, I want a little bit less, I think, on it. Something like that. Not about them looking exciting, I guess is what I'm trying to say. in this pose. Hey, how's it going? Okay, so let's actually just grab that one. Throw that on the other side. Hey! I don't know if you can hear me. It's one of those weird things where I just don't know. Yeah, right there's probably. Right, we're just gonna. Again, this is just kind of for expediency. Dun, 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 dun. I'm still not gonna come to the stream. Alright. That's fair. Thank you for saying hello. Alright, so we got something like that. Just gonna have him back of the hand for the front view. Put the thumb on the inside. So his arms are either his arms are too long or his legs are too short at this point, but we can fix that. That's not a big deal. Terrible. Again, this is sketch, so I'll try and fix things. Get to that point, but yeah, I mean, it's not that crazy of a thing to have, though. Especially in like anime, manga, there are definitely characters that have arms that are too long or upper bodies that are gigantic. But yeah, the hands should be ending somewhere around here, and they're starting around there. So it's kind of one of those things where honestly at this point, probably just make the legs longer. Torso a little bit longer. But I don't know. But yeah, the arm's definitely too long. Yeah. Actually, I'm just gonna back that. Everything else, yeah. Just do one arm at a time. I hate that. So, transform. Oh. That's not helping me either. I don't want it to like shrink the arm a bunch. So, about there's probably where the arm should be ending. So don't want it to super thin or anything like that. I don't know, it's kind of one of those weird things. Probably something a little bit more like that. I don't know. Looks weird. I'm just gonna. We're gonna try adjusting stuff. Actually. About there. And then, let's see. So, this is where it gets a little weird. I'm gonna have to. Okay. Cut this guy up. Okay. That's on a separate layer now. Back down to this layer. Okay. Nope. Just delete that one. I don't need the second one. Or this one. And that one's also. That's the problem with the keyboard I have sometimes. Is it just messes everything. Okay. Essentially, I'm just kind of making everything larger, except for the arms, to try and balance it out a little bit. And I'll kind of shrink it back down to the right size I'm looking for. Nope. Okay, here we go. So again, one of those weird things. If you stand, yeah, that's about right as far as the arms go. It's a little off, but this isn't the final. This is the sketch still, so it's one of those things where it's balanced it enough, I think, to where I can just move to the next part. that for right now. Like this arm is definitely the better. I think that's one. I think I adjusted that arm. Looks a little short. The hand is definitely small. Drag it over here. A smidge. Yeah, it's a little smaller. That slight adjustment to that, I think, is better. Okay, so let's delete that one. There we go. So, a little bit better proportioned. Not a ton, but a little bit. So, cut that arm, all right. We're just going to merge these back down together. There we go. And go from there. So a little bit better, a little bit more proportioned. Now we shrink him down so he fits on the page better. Then we get his feet in there. So that's not terrible. Like I said, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's not bad. Especially since, like I said, I'm kind of just doing this. I'm reworking this character as I go. Before today, he, like I said, for those of you who aren't here, looked like this. So I'm adjusting some stuff. His sword is different now. Came up with a whole different sword look. This was drawn like 12 years ago. So we're working our way through it. All of these characters are old original characters of mine. So we spent most of my time today, like first almost hour I'd say, kind of coming up with the sword design, which I like. I think it's a nice sword. And we're out of coffee. Womp womp. Okay, so got kind of body shape set up. He doesn't have I never gave him shoes or anything either. Okay, so yeah, like I said, we're working our way through. But he's a little bit more muscular than my other characters. But not crazy. I mean, now less crazy. Because we kind of went through and adjusted stuff. I don't know. So his arms are a little bit more matched. A little. This one's a little too long, short. For some reason, it's up higher, I think, because that one's down. Oh, whatever. I could literally just split this almost and a bit. I don't know. Okay, so feet. That looks gigantic and I don't like it. Okay, which okay. Yeah, inside is a higher point, outside is a lower point. Something like that. Still looks like a really, really big foot, but it's a start. Oops. Bring that in. I'll still sketch. So it's not the end of the world to adjust things. Even in the actual drawing part, not the end of the world. Just a smidge. Alright, something like that, I guess. Really don't understand. That looks... Nope. Just there. Boy. Yeah. All right. A little better. Something like that. Got to start on that. Not too bad. Okay. And ditch that under part there. I just want to kind of get separation on the legs, but not necessarily. Necessary, I don't know. Okay. Something in that kind of vicinity. Not too bad. This is just to remind me that's the back of the hand, not the front. All right. Alright, so we got a start on stuff. So let's try and get some line art done. Let's do it for the heck of it. Okay. Now, there is no coffee in it. I can't drink something that's not actually there. All right, so let's see, we've got pretty well situated. some small issues. Not perfectly symmetrical or anything, but it is what it is. Could use the fourth. I'll use that. Yes. Is there a problem? Yeah. Feel free to share your concerns. I'm curious. All right. And the oof would be for what exactly? Oh. Yeah, it sucks. Sometimes I run out of coffee. Doesn't always happen. But I don't really need it today anyway. It's not too crazy. I'm not too tired. Hello, JHS Crafts. How's it going? I think I want a little bit. Or not. A little bit more flattening. There. Something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I'll figure that out a little bit. And then we'll just do that. Oh! Hopefully everything is alright. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put shoes and stuff on, but this is a good start. Stuff. Just touch that. Oh. No, it's that. Whatever. I like that. There we go. not my favorite hand. Needs more hand, less finger. But trying to fix that a little bit anyway. That, I guess. Again, the anatomy isn't exactly what I'm really focused on right here, but it doesn't hurt. Let's grab this. Like that. A little bit off, obviously. Not too terribly bad still. That. Let's grab. Rotate it a smidge. Okay. We'll fix that. Yeah, something like that. Down. So, okay, just got a new sketchbook and pro markers. Oh, that's good. Hopefully the hospital situation wasn't too serious then. There. Oh, so a little serious. That's crazy. Sorry, that's unfortunate. Nope, didn't want to get rid of the whole thing. Oh. Wow. I'm sorry. Sounds a little scary. Well, hopefully they get that all worked out. That was good. Okay. Your problem since it was. Okay. Yeah, it's always kind of interesting with like stuff like that people aren't concerned until it's a problem. I don't know. No. Yep. All right, that's fine. Well, hopefully they get that all figured out and fixed and all that for you. That's certainly could be scary. Not being able to breathe, essentially. Pretty nuts. So, let's see, we've got pretty much all this stuff taken care of. Oop. Let's do that. There we go. All right. Just going through and adjusting things slightly, changing up. Okay. Okay, let's hit that. Oh, okay, that's not too bad. There. All right, so we got. I think this is pretty much body base is set. Not too bad. There we go. Thank you. Just trying to put down all the basic stuff here. A little off. Kind of doing this thing, but yeah. Alright, so got a kind of general version of this character set. Not too bad. We're gonna put some clothes on, so I'm gonna get rid of that. something in that general vicinity. That'll work. All right, so that's a little bit. So we've got this kind of set up here. If I erase that, it's gonna be all weird, but now I need to kind of come up with look for the clothes and everything. Since again, this is a character that a couple years old. It's 12 years old or about. So needs a bit of a update to some of the things. Already updated his sword here, so this is the new look for the sword. The original one was very like buster blade looking. Now it's a little bit more of a manageable size and totally different shape and design for the sword, so that's kind of cool. I like it. Neat. There's got some tattoos that need to be kind of adjusted. One of them's not too bad, that one's fine, I think. Just the one that's like right here, skull. But then he's got like a sunburst looking one, which is very similar to my like main character. So I'm gonna change that up to not be that. But there's part of the tattoo that I'm definitely gonna leave, and that is number 13, but I'm gonna do it in Roman numerals. Originally it was just the number 13, which is dumb. There. And I might change the hair up as well, because the hair is very similar to other characters. So there's a lot going on. I'm gonna like that, I guess. I don't know. That is definitely too long. And it may look kind of small, but it's also part of the gigantic body. Wait, 1 second. I gotta let my dog out before she is just making whining noises for a while. Okay. All right, so okay, she's out now. Yeah, the head looks so small. But again, that's kind of side effect of bulking the character up a bit from where they used to be. I'm not used to making like buff characters, so it's new. I don't know. That's kind of about where we want it, I guess. We can make the head larger though. I don't want to make it too much larger because I do like that. It kind of makes him look a little beefier. Alright, so again, kind of where we're at. Not too bad. So I need to come up with his typical outfit now, which is interesting. Tiny little bit left in there. Yeah, okay, so that would be. There. Something a little bit more like that. Figure that out. But let's see. Okay. And get something somewhat good. That. So. What's that? That's too thick in here. That's not the worst. I don't hate it. Thin it a little bit here. Something kind of that, maybe. All right. Yeah, that's not terrible. Let's see what we got. All right. Have a nice time. Enjoy your Netflix. Definitely probably going to revisit that, but it is what it is right now. So, vector layer. Work on that. So I'm going to drop the opacity on that. I can see a little bit better. The original hair. It's pretty close to my main character. something in that vein, and that. Something like that. I don't know if that's what I really like. And what might be kind of interesting, since he's using a great sword, which is kind of a medieval weapon, maybe giving him some kind of helmet even? I don't know. Might be neat. Like nothing too crazy. Deal. You wanted to go out and then you want to come back in? Kill me. Dogs, sometimes, man. Like, I don't know. Alright, no worries. I'll be here. I could either have it come out something real simple like that. I don't know. And something with like a face covering. Again, I'm not sure. Let's separate those two things. So, something like that. Pretty angular looking right there, but still. So it would be essentially like that. I don't know. Again, if anyone has any suggestions, this is just kind of going through, figuring it out. Honestly, I don't know. Probably do. So I could have a better peripheral vision. I don't know. Maybe Like I said, I'm just kind of going off the fact that he's using a more medieval type weapon at this point. Kind of using that to inform my decisions. Or ideas, not decisions. These aren't decided at all. We could have this whole arm kind of covered. These are all like possibilities. I'm not saying one way or the other right now necessarily this is how it's going to go. Again, these are just ideas based on the weapon at this point. Kind of sticking out this way. Oh, thank you, Ion. Oh yeah, hello. Oh, from Romania? Wow. Well, welcome. This would be kind of going back behind, like so. Probably. Okay, something like that, probably. This. Just an idea. Yes, so, welcome. Kind of working through some ideas for a character here that I'm redesigning from forever ago. Yeah. Trying out some ideas, changing up character. And like this could probably, maybe it manifests as opposed to like being there all the time. I don't know. Hard to say. This point. Kind of giving it more futuristic look by kind of giving it a little bit more angle as opposed to like rounded, medieval. I don't know. Again, just at this point, idea, not final. I don't know if I want like whole gauntlet for this. Or just back of the hand, maybe. Just ideas coming through. the same buckle. Okay, something like that. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure how this would all kind of play out. But for now, this is got pants. Right. And worked. That. And if we still have that, it either have to switch or just be hidden most of the time. Either way, at this point, we're just messing around with ideas. I have no idea what that shape necessarily is, but something. Sometimes this is like the frustrating part of doing this, because I have to come up with a design. Just haven't thought about these characters in a while, so it's not exactly easy. So, yeah, I don't know exactly about this or the helmet or anything right now. Like, if I'm going to do this. Maybe that's how I do it. Okay. I don't hate this idea here. So, could get the armor kind of, not necessarily magically, but basically. Maybe it's used through this choker necklace situation he's got. He hits it and the armor kind of appears. I don't know. At least for the helmet, maybe. Maybe it could be a similar situation with this right here. Maybe that would pop, strap out. I don't know. Things to think about. I don't know. So that could be something. Be a good idea. Be a crap idea. It all depends. Right now they're just ideas, so I'm not entirely sure about what I'm got going on. So let's hit that and that. Originally there's a, let's ditch this for a second. Let's get in there. Hard to get that close to it. Yeah. Okay, something like that. What I have for a design currently. Don't think it kind of, I don't really think it fits anymore though. Maybe that's better. I don't know. Something. I don't know. Like I said, this is just at this point playing around with ideas. Nothing at all concrete situation. Okay, so like I said, kind of going through and coming with ideas as I move through this, which is honestly probably not the best way to do this, but how it's going. Absolutely terrible. Okay, so it's just... Okay. Okay. Super. Hold on. Okay. There we go. Okay. Okay. And I haven't decided on an actual shoe, so that's another thing to think about. I don't know why I'm not. It's just feeling, for some reason, just slightly burnt today. But it's time to call it anyway, so I guess I will see you guys next time. Maybe we'll have a more concrete idea of where we're going. But for now, this is what we're at. So we spent probably half the time figuring out the sword situation, which I really like. I think the sword is solid. And then I got the basic body shape set, and now trying to figure out what kind of outfit, what kind of like setup I've got for this guy. Right now he's just got pants on. I think he'll probably wear like something, I don't know, for what's gonna be on top. I have to come up with like what kind of shoe I want as well. Right now it's just kind of a generic shoe. Kind of like the helmet situation. Like this helmet is kind of neat, and I like the kind of like futuristic look to it, and making it like kind of come out of a necklace. Like you can hit that and pop that out. Seems like a good idea. There we go. Yeah, so there's that, I guess. Making progress. Wouldn't say anything right now is concrete, but that just kind of happens at this point. I feel like nothing's going to be totally solid when I'm kind of working through it. Thank you to everyone who showed up. I genuinely appreciate it, and I hope you guys come back next time. Mondays and Thursdays, 11 a.m. Pacific time is when I stream. So you can follow my Instagram, my Twitter down there. I always let you know when I'm going live 30 minutes ahead of time, and then it'll be a notification sent out when I go live as well to let you know that's happening right now. You could also follow my work in progress postings there. After every stream, I post my work in progress update to those, so you can follow along if you missed the stream and you want to see what I did. You can see the progress that I've made there. So yeah. Thank you guys for stopping in. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time. Till then,